I'm Eleanor, and Sam, TJ, Peter, and I are here to talk about Medicine Bow National Forest. Medicine Bow is a beautiful PA in northern Colorado and southern Wyoming, just in our backyard. In fact, the Colorado part is only about an hour and a half from CSU's campus. Theodore Roosevelt declared Medicine Bow a national forest in 1902, and it's now defined as an IUCN Category 1B protected area. However, the PA continued to grow. In the 1960s, Hayden National Forest and Pole Mountain Unite were added to Root National Forest and Thunder Basin grassland. The hows and whys of Medicine Bow's creation can easily be found in the beauty of its wildlife, recreation opportunities, and dense forest, as well as its more practical aspects, such as its valuable watershed. As with many protected areas, the history of Medicine Bow National Forest has a definite Native American presence. The name itself comes from miscommunication between the settlers moving west and the Native Americans. The Native Americans made beautiful bows, and the settlers mixed up the First Nations people saying making bow for making medicine. This combo led to the PA's name. Sadly, the history of Native Americans in this PA has not been well recorded, so we were unable to find any information about their history or evictions in Medicine Bow.
Direct threats to this protected area include forest fires from human activity, specifically the 2012 forest fire and the most recent Silver Creek forest fire in August of 2018. These fires can do massive damage to the environment and the animals that live there. The second most concerning direct threat is the pine beetle, which kills existing pine trees in the park. The third and most important direct threat to this area that we'll be talking about today is the recreational threats from the overuse/misuse of trails, campsites, and roads. This includes patrons making their own trails and camping areas, use of off-road vehicles in muddy conditions to disrupt hard-packed soil. This protected area is great for these types of activities, but the risk to this park is too great. The direct threat that comes from the direct threats of the use of off-road vehicles is that the high-priority watersheds are being affected from the runoff of the roads. In order to use these trails correctly, the USDA has a list of proper recreational off-road trails to ride on. Those that are not marked by the USDA are prohibited for several reasons, including fuel runoff into watersheds, rapid erosion of trails by off-road vehicles, also trespassing unknowingly on private property.
Underlying causes are the reasons that these threats may have come up in the protected area, and they are just as important to understanding when trying to come up with solutions on how to manage each threat. One cause a lot of areas are used to dealing with is the lack of funding. This makes it hard for the park to address the threats when they occur and makes them easier to occur in the first place. As far as Medicine Bow's big threat, the lack of awareness or education by the users causes many issues. People either don't know they're disrupting the area or they don't care and take no responsibility for their actions. Managing the threats is the most difficult part for the protected area, especially if there are not resources to make it easy on them. The number one tool the area is using is educating the community about treating the area the correct way so that it can stay pristine and in use. They are also planning on creating more easily accessible roads and adding off-road trail signs to clearly mark where the people can and cannot go. As much as these help Medicine Bow, they are not making the problem just disappear, and there is still plenty of work to be done.
We are going to review several key management principles as discussed in class. The first was effective community education. The revised management plan, released in December 2003, introduced new concepts to combating threats. The park introduced a forest plan which served as a day-to-day guide to land and resource management. Involvement of the public is key to the success of the forest plan, therefore evaluation reports were annually made available for review. The next principle was number 3, long-term human intervention. Pine beetles are killing pine and spruce trees. These dead trees become fire hazards, a significant threat to regional economics as well as public safety. The Forest Service is working to remove dead trees and promote healthy forest areas. The final principle used was effective environmental planning. Much of the forest has been affected by the pine beetle epidemic. These dead trees are a hazard. There has been a proposition to log, cut, burn, and repurpose 562 square miles of the park. This will help preserve the healthy areas of the park for the future and increase overall revenue. Here's where we found most of our information for the project. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.